Sociology 211 Final Project by Alison Watkins. For my gender norm, I decided to do something very unconventional for College Station. When I was out at Harry's, I asked a guy if he would like to dance, or in other words, I made the first move. Normally, guys always approach the girl first. The guy I asked was very flustered by the fact that I asked him. He was still very polite, but you could visibly see that I had made him very uncomfortable. Also, the people around me looked at me like I asked the guy to sleep with me instead of just asking him to dance. But the biggest reaction was the guy I asked constantly trying to reassert his manhood while we were dancing. I would say that this was a normative act of deviance. Obviously, there is no law about a girl asking a guy to dance at a dance hall, but the way that everyone reacted let me know very quickly that it was sort of an unspoken rule. Everyone around me tried to let me know that it was not right for a girl to make the first move because it makes the guy uncomfortable, and society is set up in a way in which certain unspoken rules are always followed. This act of gender violation could also be seen as reactivist deviance. It garnered a reaction from the onlookers. They stared, whispered, and gave disapproving looks, and it garnered a reaction from the guy I asked. He was embarrassed and flustered. Location plays a huge part in why this is seen as deviant. For one, if you take into consideration the broader sense of location, the South, it explains a lot. The South is known for chivalry and the proverbial Southern gentleman. If history was a meaningful indicator on why everyone reacted the way they did, location counts way more. In the South, men are very protective of their masculinity, and when women encroach on it, they are flustered and taken aback. The fact that this took place in a dance hall only adds to the idea that men are supposed to be manly. Hurricane Harry's is packed to the brim with stereotypical Southern gentlemen. Audience is probably one of the most important things that contributed to the act of deviance. Like I said when I was explaining location, most guys go to Harry's with the same goals in mind. The fact that almost everyone is thinking the same way, they all saw my act as equally deviant. Also, the audience played a big role on how the guy that I asked reacted. He was more embarrassed because it was in front of his peers, people who viewed it as weird as he did. History is quite clear about how men and women are to interact, especially in the beginning of a relationship, whether it be a friendship or a romantic relationship. The guy is always supposed to make the first move. Initiating conversation, asking the girl to dance, etc. are all seen as something almost exclusively masculine, and this is important because it helps to explain why my asking a guy to dance was received so strangely. The way that people in the dance hall who saw me ask the guy to dance sanctioned me was very apparent. The dirty looks and whispers made it instantly clear to me that what I did was not seen as normal. This showed me that their particular group had a specific set of rules, and anyone who broke them was not welcome. The specific theory that best applies to this specific act of deviance would be Goffman's all the world is a stage theory. The guy that I asked to dance put on a masculine self that he wanted people at the dance hall to see. He tried to give off the impression that he was manly and in control. From the clothes he was wearing to the drink he was drinking, even to the way he was standing, everything he did was to put on the mask of self that he wants others to see. By asking him to dance, I temporarily upset his self that he was portraying by flustering him. After that, through the entire dance, he tried to recompose himself and do a little impression management. In conclusion, I thought that asking a guy to dance would not have been such a big deal, but I was wrong. The way the guy reacted was much more over the top than I could have ever thought, but even more strange was the reaction from onlookers. They made me feel like I was breaking the law from the looks that they were giving me, even though I simply asked a guy to dance. For the violation of the bathroom norm, I went into a public bathroom on campus and started asking a girl random questions. The girl was already in the stall, so I was being very deviant by talking to her while she was using the restroom, especially since we did not know each other. The reaction of the girl was what you would expect of someone who was made very uncomfortable. You could tell she was very put off, but she was still pretty polite. She tried to finish using the restroom quickly and then rushed out of the bathroom, visibly disturbed. This act could be seen as statistically deviant. For the most part, people go into public restrooms, use them, wash their hands, and leave without talking to one another. Almost no one strikes up conversations with strangers, especially when they are already in a stall. I definitely went against statistics. This act could also be seen as reactive deviance. There was definitely a reaction from the girl in the restroom, and also the reason I committed this act of deviance was to get a reaction from someone. Location plays a big part, not only because it is a bathroom where things and actions are considered sacred, but also because of its geographical location. In College Station, especially on Texas A&M campus, Aggies aren't widely known for being incredibly liberal, especially on taboo subjects like stranger bathroom interaction. The context also plays a big role in why the act is termed deviant. The fact that it happened in a bathroom while a stranger was using the restroom definitely contributes to why this wasn't normal. The girl went into the bathroom expecting to not be disturbed, and my interruption of her most private time definitely threw her off and made her react badly towards me and label me deviant. I was definitely sanctioned negatively by the girl in the bathroom. She not only gave me dirty looks, but also asked me to stop. She made it perfectly clear that my behavior was unacceptable in a bathroom situation. This shows me that people are not open to change or interactions in the bathroom. The theory that best describes this deviant act would be Becker's labeling theory. Society as a group has created rules about bathroom etiquette, and by breaking those rules, I was labeled deviant by the girl in the bathroom. She labeled me an outsider, and I have no doubt in my mind that if she were to see me again, she would treat me as such. In conclusion, committing this act of deviance showed me that the bathroom sanctions are some of the most severe. The unspoken rules of bathroom etiquette are so strong in our society that the minute you break one, you are labeled deviant. I never realized just how strong the sanctity of the bathroom was viewed in this society until I tried to break the norm. For my food norm violation, I went to McDonald's, ordered an ice cream, and proceeded to eat it with my hands. Instead of using a spoon, I sat in the McDonald's booth and scooped it out with my hands. The reaction from most of the people around me was staring. The person I was with found it hilarious, as did a small group of guys sitting at another table, but for the most part it just seemed to make everyone around me extremely uncomfortable. This act could be seen as reactivist deviance. It garnered a reaction from everyone around me in the McDonald's. Everyone took notice and stopped and stared. This act could also be seen as normative deviance. By eating the ice cream with my hands, I violated the folkways and mores of public eating. For most of society, when you eat in public, you do it very politely by using utensils, placing a napkin in your lap, trying not to be messy, and chewing with your mouth closed. In this case, I did none of those things, and so everyone labeled me as deviant. Location is pretty important for why this act was seen as deviant. For one, I was in College Station, where everyone prides themselves on being normal and, quote, trying to keep College Station normal, end quote. So eating ice cream with my hands was perceived as abnormal or deviant. I was also at a McDonald's, which, even though it is a fast food restaurant, still has some eating norms expected of its customers. Context was also pretty important. It seemed as if everything about me was normal. I was dressed fairly nice, out to eat with another college student, and it was pretty early, and by that I mean there was no reason to think that I was drunk. Nothing about the context of the situation would indicate me doing something so different, and that's why it was labeled deviant. The sanctions inflicted on me by others around me were far less severe than any of the other groups whose norms I violated. Maybe because this act was funnier or it was in a somewhat lax location, the onlookers were less judgmental. However, they did still sanction me negatively. The people around me either laughed at me or gave me dirty looks. They showed me that they still had rules that I was expected to follow. The theory that best describes this deviant act would be Hershey's control theory, specifically the attachment element of social bonds. The group of guys who watched me doing the act had a strong attachment to each other that prevented them from committing deviant acts. On the flip side, I barely knew anyone in the McDonald's, which allowed me to commit deviance without any fear of losing people close to me. In conclusion, I thought that doing something like that in a McDonald's would not have any consequences. However, I was wrong. It showed me that even in fast food restaurants, people are expected by society to act a certain way. Overall, this project really opened up my eyes to the constraints society puts on all of us. All around us are unspoken and unseen rules that in order to be accepted we must follow. We all like to think that we can do whatever we want, whenever we want, but the reality is that most of our lives we live by the codes of society. We have almost no free will if we want to be a productive, accepted member of society.